NFL season, Week 7 is underway on EA Sports. This is taken about 7 yards deep. And he'll wind up about 4 yards shy of where he would have been if he had taken a knee, as they'll start at the 21-yard line.
Here we go. Check 52 to mine. You can't block me. You can't block me.
They will run for the first time with Miles Sanders. And he's got it past the 30 before he's hit and dropped. 10 yards there and an Eagle first down.
And there we see an early burst that makes him one of the leading rushers in the league.
Well, I want you to know, I listened to you yesterday when we were watching film. You said write down the word vision for him. It was on display there, wasn't it?
It certainly was, because he allows the blocks to set up in front of him. And if that continues, it could be a long afternoon for those guys trying to play some defense.
7 yards on the pickup there, and it'll leave him with a 2nd and 3.
A nice run here early on. It doesn't take a great play caller to realize you want to establish a guy of his caliber with runs like this early, because they'll pay dividends as the game progresses.
A good run, got 7 on first. Here's 2nd and 3.
Pick it up. 81. 45 to mine. Hey, Alpha. That's going to Alpha.
Wins. And complete to Zach Ertz. And he'll be stopped right at midfield. 12 yards is the pickup. Good for an Eagle first down.
I do believe we'll see a little bit more of this as this game progresses, because when you can have that type of a gain in the middle of the defense, it hurts them in so many ways, because most teams like to be strong down the middle. And if you can sting them there, that'll open things up for you on the outside as well.
But that's where their big tight end, is so good, that middle third, the seam routes, the end routes. Yeah, you're right. Probably see more of that.
Yeah, it takes a lot of courage and fortitude to go in the middle as well, and he's got it.
Here we go. 120. 54. Too low, Captain. 57.
Throwing on 2nd and 14. Wentz is going to fire one deep, middle of the field. That's caught inside the 20. 36 yards on the play.
Well, things are looking pretty darn good on this first drive, aren't they? Came right out, set the tone, this time with a big pass play.
And if the peek behind the curtain that they gave us or their game plan, I don't think that's going to be the last one we see.
I think you're exactly right about that.
So the big play means just like that, they'll operate from the red zone now on first down.
Check 37. Hey, empty.
Wentz going to throw. And it's caught. And he can't quite get there. Tackled down at the 1. And between the last two plays, they moved it over half the length of the football field. Well, he did everything but get him in the end zone there, but now they're set up. Golden opportunity, strong opening drive, and they're knocking on the door.
And the way that they did it, now look where they are on the field, all right? This is naturally set up for a running play, isn't it? But with his ability to throw the football, his accuracy on this drive, you might want to think about a pass play in this.
And he's in for an Eagles touchdown. Miles Sanders, his 4th touchdown on the year. And the Eagles drive right down the field and score on the opening drive. And his kick is no good. An inauspicious start here kicking-wise as this one stays a 6-0 game. So with the missed PAT in his rearview mirror, he goes back out to kick this one off. And a short kick, taking it about the 16. And they're going to start this drive in pretty good shape as they get it up past the 30.
Here we go.
From the 34 now, here's 1st and 10. Now the first carry for Ronald Jones. He was brought down by Kamu Grugier-Hill. Charles, they won last week despite him not running the ball well. They told us need to get him going. Runs like that help.
And they talked to us about leaning on him because, as you noted, last week they didn't have to. Still won the ball game. They leaned on other people to give them the yardage that they needed, but they really want him to be that guy, and that's what they're doing early in this game.
From the 40 now on second down. Winston, he sets up the screen to Jones. They follow up the gain of 5 by only getting 1 there on second down. Now, Charles, what's the mindset here offensively? You gave up the touchdown pretty quickly. Would it have changed if you had gotten a stop and it would be 0-0 right now, or no?
I wouldn't think so. I think in most cases, just down a touchdown, you know, I mean, we're just getting started here. It should be a long way to go. You think to yourself, stick with the game plan, all the things you worked on in practice. But you have some teams that when they get down, their natural tendency is to aggressively strike back. And let's see if they want to get outside of the game plan we expect and try and be aggressive on their first series.
And how about this one now? In their own territory, a gutsy call. They're going to go for this on 4th and a yard. They'll run it with Jones. And they are going to stop him on 4th and 1 as they'll wind up going backwards. So certainly an interesting call there to go for it. And that will force a turnover on downs.
Here we go. Back man. Waiting.
On 1st and 10, it's Sanders. And he's going to be met at the line of scrimmage and taken down. There to stop him was Carlton Davis. Well, if you look where that play starts, O-line versus D-line, that was a battle won by the D-line.
Yeah, and oftentimes it's won by quickness off the ball. Who can handle the guy across from them best? On that play, the defensive line did exactly that.
Looking to throw on second down. Wentz, he's going to rifle one deep left. And this is caught. Touchdown, Philadelphia. As his guys are in for 6. And the Eagles able to push further out in front. And he's a little bit on the shorter side as a receiver. Maybe sometimes for the defense, tough to find the little guys, right?
Yeah, sometimes they get lost in the traffic, but usually what it means is that rather than just winning with height or even speed, they use their quickness to find a way to get open.
Well, tall, short, wide, skinny, whatever, there it results in a touchdown. The Bucs offense set to begin their next possession. And last time this unit was out here, costly turnover, and then that turned into 6 points. They've got to make amends.
And how many times have we sat in meetings with coaches and they use the term complementary football? Offense take care of the defense, defense take care of the offense. That didn't happen on the last possession. This is a chance for them to pick themselves back up and help their team.
Yeah, we'll see if they can recoup and recover. On second down, it's Jones. And from the 25, they work this to the 29, a gain of 4.
One thing to keep in mind, partner, especially in the second half, when you've got a running back of this size, of these dimensions, I can just tell you, attrition does set in for a defense because you're excited about hitting him in the first half, maybe not so much in the second half, and some of these shorter gains turn into bigger runs later.
He completes it to Evans. And he's going to come up a bit short. He needed to get to the 35 for the first, but he only makes it to the 34. So they were looking to throw, holding on the big right tackle.
It's real simple, partner. Keep your hands inside in the chest area. You're probably okay. You get it out on the shoulders, get them wide. Usually going to pick up a holding call.
Third and long for Winston. This one complete to Scott Miller. And now Miller hit, and he fumbles. And the Eagles have recovered. And hopefully for both sides, not a sign of things to come, Charles. This morning, It was so perfect outside, but we knew this weather was coming, and we see the effects of it here early on.
And I wonder if how perfect it was this morning has psychologically fooled everyone. You know, it's almost like even though we were told the weather was coming, and you know the teams knew it as well, that maybe they got fooled and thought, it's going to be okay. And now they're probably a little upset that it's out there.
Because warm-ups were dry.
Oh, well, dry, and now you've got to make the change up, and it's the first quarter. Might take them a little time to settle in on their focus and concentration.
At the 31-yard line.
A loss of a yard there to start out. That leads to a 2nd and 11. From the gun, it's Wentz. He'll let this go for the end zone. And that will be incomplete. Tried to dial up the long one way out there, but it'll be 3rd down.
When teams take shots at the end zone, you've got to defend it the same way you would defend the first down sticks. You defend the goal line exactly the same way. They can't cross that. You play through the receivers, and on that play, that's exactly what they did and batted it away.
The chance of wasting this great starting field position, a real threat. This is 3rd and long. Play fake to Sanders. Now here's Wentz. And that will be incomplete. Well, they weren't scared to let it fly, but it falls to the ground and brings up 4th down.
You hear the calls for a penalty, but I just don't think so. I think in this situation, the defender was making sure his guy couldn't hold on to the football. So I don't see anything that warranted a flag.
No, I'm with you. There was contact, but I'm happy they kept that flag in the back pocket.
Now, if this was a clear day in September, I'd say this is well within his range. I'd feel very confident about this kick, but let's be honest about it. In these elements, the difficulty level gets ratcheted up by at least a factor of 5.
So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38. Running with Howard. A gain of 3, 2nd down.
A 3-yard pickup brings up 2nd and 7 at the 41-yard line. That's the end of the first quarter with the score Eagles 13, Buccaneers nothing.
I got you. I got you.
From the 41, Winston. He sets to fire deep. It's caught inside the 25. Touchdown, Tampa Bay. Chris Godwin, his first touchdown on the year, as they are now on the board here in the first half. Maybe that is the boost that this offense needed.
They've done nothing the entire half, but out of the blue comes this big shot here. You're exactly right. Like a dunk in basketball, like a home run in baseball, maybe a solo shot. Sometimes you need that big play to get things ignited.
Following the touchdown, here's Gay to kick it away. It's a short kick, taken at the 15. And a good return. He's across the 35-yard line, right around the 36.
At their own 36-yard line.
The Eagles offense set to begin their next drive. And thus far, the weather has not slowed this offense down one bit. They've looked good so far in the first half.
They certainly have. And think back to our meeting with the head coach. And we asked him, because we saw the forecast for this game, didn't we? We said, hey, have you prepared for this? And he talked about the different drills that they've done in adverse conditions, the wet ball drills, things of that nature. He said, I don't think it's going to slow us down much. We tend to handle it pretty well, and he's been right.
The last run got 9. That leaves them with 2nd and a yard. Wentz on the give to Sanders. And taking it across midfield and inside the 45. 10 yards there and an Eagle first down.
At this stage of the game, the run-pass numbers are a little bit out of whack because most of their yardage has come through the air. But in a sense, that just sets things up for big runs like that because the defense might be a little bit off balance. They pick up another first down with that run.
They'll run. It's Sanders. Powers through again. 2 yards on the pickup there. It'll be 2nd and 8.
Well, we saw him there trying to get it to the outside, trying to get to the perimeter, but not a whole lot of room there. But there's got to be one positive to that. If you keep moving laterally, creases tend to develop as the game moves on, and they can run it back inside later.
The last run good for 2. Here's 2nd and 8. Now they'll throw it. Wentz. And his throw's going to be incomplete. Just a little beyond the reach there of his receiver. That's probably one he wishes he had back.
He wishes it had been 7-on-7 in practice, or maybe even routes versus air, because that's a completion he makes, 9.9 times out of 10? Just missed that one.
Now Wentz on 3rd down. Caught by the tight end Ertz. And he gets it to the 34. Good enough for the first. An Eagle first down. Wentz to Ertz. From the 34 now, here's 1st and 10. They go back to the ground with Sanders. And brought down, but not before they're inside the 25. 10 yards there and an Eagle first down.
Boy, he does it at a high level, doesn't he? Because when I watch him, I think of his vision. Straight ahead, peripheral. Also has that sense of where holes are going to be before they actually open. I think that helps set him apart from many of the other backs in the league.
Go. 280! Rabbit.
He is taken down at the 21 after a short gain of 2.
But we just saw a great example of what we talked about with his coach prior to the game. He's definitely one of the better linebackers at reading a play and flowing to make the stop before it turns into something big.
The last run got a couple. Here's 2nd and 8.
I'm going to run you over.
Throwing is Wentz. And this is going to wind up incomplete. The coverage there too strong on the deep ball, and now they face a 3rd down. They're going for a receiver there. Already has 1 touchdown in this first half. A second one not to be.
I like where their headspace is, though. I mean, I really like the thought process, right? You got a guy who's already scored 1, right? You want to go back to him, continue the hot hand, and make them adjust to you defensively. I like what they were trying to get done, even though they weren't successful.
This is caught. And stopped a few yards shy of the goal line at the 3. They're able to convert on 3rd down, and that sets up a 1st and goal.
1st and goal at the 3-yard line.
Good. 180! Mike 45. Watch the slant.
They'll try to run with Sanders. And they'll be driven back here, losing yardage to the 9. So a loss of 5, and it'll be 2nd down.
The short field shrinks even more with the type of bodies they brought in on that play. Those extra tight ends, they weren't able to secure their blocks, and that one ended up going backwards.
Now from the 9, here's 2nd and goal. Now Wentz. To the goal line, but it's incomplete. J.J. Arcega-Whiteside, the intended receiver, but now it's 3rd and goal.
Once you get into the red zone and the safeties have less ground to cover, you better be quick with your delivery. Not much space to get a ball in there.
Yeah, when that field shrinks with those safeties, it's almost like there's a couple extra defenders out there, right?
It certainly is. They end up taking up extra space just because there's not enough space for receivers to run through.
Meanwhile, on 3rd down, they take a shot at the end zone, but it's incomplete. So out comes the field goal team now for the 2nd time here today. From the right hash, and this one just a chippy. And the kick by Elliott is good. And now it's a 2-score game at 9, 16-7. So they get 3, certainly hoping for 6 after a 13-play drive.
So you console yourself on defense by saying you did your job, right? If they go 13 plays, you only give up a field goal, you did a nice job there. But here's the other part. 13 plays, you don't force any mistakes, you don't take the ball away. Maybe that's the way they should look at it.
At their own 25-yard line.
The Bucs offense set to begin their next possession, and they're hoping to redo their efforts in the last drive when they got into the end zone.
And just think of what it's like now on the sideline, because when you score a touchdown, you have to go over and look at the tablet and see what you did on the last drive. When you scored points, it's a whole lot better view than when you're trying to figure out how to fix things there.
At the 26-yard line.
The last play got just a yard. Here's 2nd and 9 from the 26. Winston, a handoff. This is Jones. And he still has yet to get on track in this first half as they're going to stop him behind the line. They'll wind up losing 4 yards on the play. And it'll be a 3rd and about 13. They don't need to run another play here before the 2-minute warning. Let's see if they do it anyway. Winston from the gun on 3rd down. That's incomplete, but there is a flag down, so hang on. A big call coming on 3rd down. So instead of giving them another 3rd down, they'll decline it, brings up 4.
Now that's smart football right there. You don't even have to really spend a lot of time considering it. Just know that you're probably going to get the ball back. Good job declining that penalty.
Looks like the offense is going to take another shot here. They're going on 4th and 13. Now contact up front as penalty markers come in. Who is this against? A free 5 yards as the defense jumps.
I know it's an anticipation game for them, but it's also a reaction game, and they reacted poorly on that one.
So here we go. The offense is going to stay out there. They're going for it on 4th and 8. They're indeed going. It's Winston. Airing this one out for Evans. Second quarter action, 1:56 remaining. And it's going to be batted down, and we'll go the other way with the football. A reminder, once we hit halftime, as we do all season, we'll send it down to Jonathan Coachman in Orlando. He'll have all the stats and scores from games in progress around the NFL.
The best multitasker in the business, the coach.
And down inside the 15, shy of the 10. Philadelphia picking up the first on a gain of 15.
Now, this is an example of breaking down a defense, because on a lot of these runs, he's getting past the point of attack, and guess what he's doing? Forcing the secondary guys to have to make a lot of tackles.
Right back to Sanders on 1st down. Looking for a crease, can't find one. Stopped at the line of scrimmage. Call it no gain on the play, and it'll be 2nd down. This defense against the run, by the way, they're not top 5, but they are top 10.
So what's your philosophy here? Do you try and run the ball against a team that's pretty good against the run? What if you're a pretty good running team? If so, you might want to go ahead and run it anyway, because that's your strength.
Throwing on 2nd down. Wentz. And that's going to be caught for an Eagles touchdown. J.J. Arcega-Whiteside. His 3rd touchdown now on the year. And the Eagles able to push further out in front. Footing always a concern, but the extra point's up and good. And that could be important, as that makes this a 16-point lead. Now after the touchdown, here's Elliott on to kick it away. And a fair catch signaled for and taken successfully.
Let's go. Let's go.
The Bucs take over 1st and 10 at their own 25-yard line.
The Bucs offense set to begin their next possession. And this not an easy situation. You're down early, in the elements, you're on the road. How do you get the mojo back?
But one thing is to remember that as an offensive player, you have a much better idea of what you're trying to accomplish and where you're trying to go than the defender. So in this case, because you know it, you can make your cuts with a little more decisiveness, maybe a second fake, some double moves, things of that nature, to go ahead and try and put some pressure on the defense.
So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38. Rush coming, and he he's taken down. Raekwon McMillan in there to get him, and that is sack number 6 now for him on the year.
Well, someone's been up to the task so far in this game. They are already up a couple of scores, Brandon, and guess what? I think they're just going to pin their ears back now and get upfield and get after the quarterback.
Been such an impressive first half to get that lead. Work to be done here on 2nd and 16 after the sack. From the gun, Winston. And the pressure gets to him again. Need something from deep in the bag of tricks here after 1st and 2nd down went backwards. It's 3rd and very long. So we reach halftime in what's been a fairly one-sided game so far. As we'll get you down the coast to Orlando for Jonathan Coachman at our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach. All right, Coach, thank you, and we welcome everyone back for quarter number 3. Forecast calling for more of the same. The rain set to continue as we are underway in the second half. And no return on this one as the fair catch is signaled for and taken.
Let's go! Let's go!
The Bucs offense set to begin their next possession. They have the ball here for the inaugural drive of the second half. Pretty big deficit, though. We'll see what adjustments were made in that locker room.
And I never want to make something more important than it actually is, right? I don't want to create more hype than what is there. But this is I'm doing it, though. This is a really important drive. And we often talk about teams scripting plays to start a game. A lot of them script to start the second half, too. And they're scripting something that they expect to get them into the end zone and back into this game.
We'll see if that script is a good one for them. So they get half of what they needed. It'll be 3rd and 6 upcoming.
Ready? 280. Hey, we got Mike, number 53. Mike, 53. Come on. Mike, cut up. Mike, cut up.
Working out of the gun, Winston. And that's knocked away and incomplete. So coming up empty here to start the 3rd quarter. Already 2 scores down. Got to be careful.
Yeah, I did notice, though, that the captain of the defense patted the quarterback on the helmet on his way out, pretty much letting him know, we know the pressure's on us. We're going to go out there and try and hold serve for you while you figure it out over here on the sidelines.
Completes it to Miller. And able to get this one across the 45 before he's brought down. They've been burned twice already on 4th down, but the 3rd time's the charm as they keep the drive moving.
First down, Tampa Bay.
Ready?
2 first downs have them up near midfield now on 1st and 10.
Wait. Here we go.
From the shotgun, it's Winston. And he's going to go down. They sack him back at the 42. Fletcher Cox make that now 8 sacks for him on the season. You never want to give up a sack. From the O-line's perspective, they hate it for several reasons, especially because they felt like they let little brother down back there in the pocket.
Oh, no doubt. They have a ton of pride, and they go into every job wanting to keep that guy clean. They want that uniform.
And nothing but green grass here, middle of the field. Touchdown, Tampa Bay. Scott Miller, his 3rd touchdown now on the year, as they are able to cut into that lead. So now a 2-point conversion attempt coming for Winston and the Bucs.
Kill. Come on. Sunday.
Throwing, Winston. And he is in for the 2 points. And they're back within a score as the lead's cut to 8. After the touchdown, it's Gay to kick this one away. That'll be taken in the end zone. And the decision to bring it out will cost him about 5 yards as he'll get this only back to the 20.
At their own 20-yard line.
Already at the line, this Philly offense set to go. They had that first half lead, but they have been shut down here in this 3rd quarter, so time to retool a bit.
And probably need to tap into that emotional vein that gets them back to really playing hard, an effective way. Because a lot of times we think it's just play calls and this isn't working and they're shutting them down. Sometimes when you get a lead, you lose your edge. You don't play quite as hard. That's what they're looking for here.
Trying to get that edge back as they watch this lead shrink a little. And he'll get it up near the 35, right at the 34 here. That one, a first down pickup of 8.
They're trying to show that they can run the ball and protect this lead. Give it to the backs, play a little bit of keep away, don't you think?
And that's probably a good philosophy at this point, going to make that defense stand up and stop them. From the 34 now, here's 1st and 10.
Check right, check right.
Firing quickly here, and that's complete. And he gets this one to midfield before he's brought down. It's a gain of 16 and an Eagle first down. Catch number 100 for his career right there, and it's good enough to keep the chains moving.
Here we go, here we go. 54. All you get is a headache. All you get is a headache.
They'll run on first down. It's Sanders. Just a yard on the first down carry, so it's 2nd and 9.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, this big defensive lineman will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
On 2nd and 9, Wentz. And this one incomplete. Too much contact to hold on to that one, and it's 3rd down.
They went with a dime look on defense. 2 extra defensive backs on the field and covered up essentially every blade of grass. That allowed them to disrupt the play.
After an incomplete pass on 2nd down, that'll leave him trying to convert on 3rd and 9. Now Wentz. Got his man. It's Arcega-Whiteside. And this is going to lead to another first down as the tackle's made at the Bucs 33.
And when you're playing a quarterback with some experience and some moxie, you enter the danger zone when you decide to blitz him, because if he's able to diagnose as he did on that play, he can hurt you downfield.
He reads defenses so well, doesn't he?
He really does, and the best part about that play for him, I don't think that was his primary target.
I don't think so either.
I think he had the read, figured out where the blitz was coming from, and went to a secondary target for a really nice gain.
Now a throw to the end zone on first down, but it winds up incomplete. 2nd and 10 from the 33-yard line. It's a 2nd down run with Sanders. And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. That'll be a loss of a yard, and it leads to a 3rd down.
Count me as a little bit surprised by what we just saw there, because this has been a pretty long drive, and normally you think that wears down a defense. In this case, looked like the offensive line let them down a little bit.
Yeah, allowed the penetration and the ability to stuff them for a loss. Ninth play of the drive coming up, and certainly not an easy one on 3rd and long. Working from the gun, Wentz. And a flag comes in as that one falls incomplete. Well, let's see who this is on. This home crowd, they're happy with that call.
I like the way you said happy there, right? The so-called good guys didn't get a call. They feel like it's been that way all afternoon. You feeling their pain?
They finally got one.
Yes, they did.
You ain't doing nothing today. Let's go, great.
Into the red zone, Wentz. To the end zone, but it's incomplete.
And that's one he's got to be happy to have back. There wasn't a hole open in the zone.
You'd have to think on early downs like that first down there, need to be a little bit more careful.
Yeah, fortunately for him, got a couple more downs to play with.
So now 2nd and 10 after the incompletion on first down. Now Wentz. This is brought in by Gibson. And now they're inside the 10 as he's brought down at the 9. They'll wind up getting 10 back as that sets them up for 3rd down. The last catch nearly got him a first, but it did not, and they'll try to convert on 3rd and inches. They'll try and run for it with Sanders, and he'll take it into the end zone for an Eagles touchdown. Miles Sanders with his 2nd touchdown of the game and 5th on the year. And the Eagles able to push further out in front. Doug Peterson says, let's go for 2 here.
Let's get this ball back for the offense.
And this is incomplete. Should have been picked. Probably doesn't matter on a 2-point conversion, but still, as a former DB, you want to grab that ball when you can, don't you?
You certainly do, and don't say it, because I know you're thinking it. Don't say it.
What am I thinking?
You know I know what you're thinking. Well, if he'd had hands, he'd be playing on offense. Right?
That's true. You've said that before.
The Bucs take over 1st and 10 at their own 25-yard line.
The Bucs offense set to begin their next possession. I guess they have to feel a little gratified to at least get on the board last time, but still work to do.
No doubt about it. I wonder now if they're going to try to increase the urgency a little bit, maybe pump up the pace, maybe go 2-minute. Who knows? Let's see what they decide to do.
Winston now to throw on 1st down. It's caught by Mike Evans. And they're able to get this one across the 35. It's a gain of 11, and the Bucs have a 1st down.
Are we really in the 2nd half here? And this is the first time we've seen Jameis Winston connect with Mike Evans?
Yeah, you know that they missed that in the 1st half. Up until this point, they've really missed it, haven't they?
I think that's a big reason why they're down on the scoreboard right now.
Easy. 57's the mic. Watch it. I'm going to come back to you. Let's go.
Jameis now on 1st down. Oh, and this ball's tipped and intercepted. Picked off by Avonte Maddox. And the possession is theirs at their own 43-yard line.
Okay, partner, no surprise to you. I'm going to look at this from the defensive perspective. In the rain, you have to be more cautious trying to cover passing routes. Why? The offense knows where they're going with the football. The receiver knows the route he's going to run. You have to make sure you keep your footing underneath you.
They start on the ground here at Sanders. Tackle made that time by Vita Vea.
An opportunity to get a drive started here at the end of the 3rd quarter. What you're trying to do is break the game down a little bit. Don't let your guys see too deep into the game, into the future, and say, oh, we got to get here. No, right here, right in front of them. Melt the clock down, get to the 4th quarter, try and keep going.
And try to keep that lead.
Exactly.
From the 45 on 2nd down. Wentz. And that would not to be. It's incomplete. So they couldn't hook up as time is now run out on this 3rd quarter of play. The Eagles on 3rd down. They've converted 4 times out of 6. Not bad. This is 3rd and 8. Shotgun now for Wentz. And he connects with Ertz. And taking it across midfield and inside the 45. It's a gain of 13 and a 1st down for Philadelphia. Wentz now a perfect 8 for 8 to start the 2nd half. Not bad. 1st and 10.
I'm coming after you. Trey 15.
To throw is Wentz. He's going to rifle one deep left side. Oh, incomplete. A turnover would have really helped there. Almost intercepted. Instead, it's just 2nd down. Despite the lead here in the 4th, they're still taking shots.
Not content to sit on this lead at all. And to me, it raises the question of what's right in this game nowadays. Do you sit on the ball and run it because you have enough of a lead? Or do you try and extend it because you always feel like the other team can come back?
Extend it. Have some fun. And all the way inside the 15 before they drop it. A gain of 28 yards there and give them a first down.
Do my eyes deceive me, or is he getting stronger as this game moves along?
Burst seems just as good here in the fourth as it was way back in the first, doesn't it?
I do believe someone put a lot of time in the offseason and continues to condition during the season in order to continue to carry the ball at this rate.
And Sanders has got it complete. And he's going to be brought down just shy of the 5 at the 6. It's a gain of 9 yards. And it'll be second and about a yard. Shotgun snap and then the give to Sanders. And the reinforcements come in as they're going to stop him behind the line. That backs him up 1 yard and brings up third down. The Eagles on third down. They've been very good, 5 for 7 thus far. This time they face a 3rd and 2. That one caught by Gibson. He didn't get the touchdown, but he did get the first down as he's tackled at the 1. The gain of 5 that time gives him the conversion and makes it 1st and goal.
1st and goal at the 1-yard line.
They come out here in the eye. A good chance now to put this game on ice. This is 1st and goal. They'll run with Sanders. And he is not going to get through here on try number 1. They stop him at the goal line. Call it no gain, and it's going to be 2nd and goal.
Leads to 2nd and goal.
Another shot from the 1 on 2nd and goal.
Hey, pick your game up.
Once again with Sanders. And he's in. Touchdown, Eagles. Punching it in from a yard away. And the Eagles able to push further out in front. Trying to bust out of that losing funk, and these fans have to like this. And all right, fellas, this is more like it.
And I know that if this holds up after the game, they're going to give the fans a lot of credit being at home, getting the support. But you and I both know it goes deeper than that. They had to get it together in their own facility, look each other in the eye and say, okay, what's it going to take to break this losing streak? And they really came together with a good week of practice.
The Bucs take over 1st and 10 at their own 25-yard line.
The Bucs offense set to begin their next possession. And following the interception, just any interception, are you a little bit more? Eagle pressure, too much this time. Down he goes. Nigel Bradham flying in and laying the lumber defensively.
We've been around this league for a while, and many coaches never pull their starting quarterback, almost no matter the situation. In this case, though, I think he's got to make a decision. He's taking a pretty good beating out there.
Yeah, with the deficit, maybe not wanting to risk an injury. Another try after the first down sack. Winston, this into the hands of his running back, Ronald Jones. Give him 3 on the play, and they're going to be staring at a 3rd and long here. You got the big lead defensively, willing to give him that underneath stuff, right?
And this is why you work on your tackling. Tackle them after the catch, inbounds, keep the clock running. Just go ahead and bleed the game out that way.
3rd and long for Winston. He sets up the screen to Jones. And he'll be brought down at the 28, and that is well short of the first. The screen does get him 9, but it also brings up a 4th down. Instead of throwing it downfield, Charles, they just tried to dump it underneath there. You like the call?
I do. I think it's a high percentage play because you get the completion, and what you're counting on is your back to use his legs and his elusiveness to make people miss and pick up the first down. In this case, it didn't happen.
The Bucs go for it. It's Winston. Open man is Miller. He's got it. And he's going to have the first down at about the 38. No reason not to try it there, and they do indeed convert on 4th. Jameis now, after the pick on the last drive, 3 for 3 to start this drive. It's 1st and 10. from the shotgun to give to Jones. And they're going to get him behind the line yet again as his nightmare afternoon continues. 3 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be second down. 3 yards on that last carry. Here's 2nd and 7. Just 2 minutes remaining here in the fourth quarter of what has been a one-sided affair. So it's Buccaneer football as we welcome you back. And let's see what they've come up with offensively after having time to talk it over. From the 41, Winston. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Fletcher Cox in there to get him, and on the season now, that is 9 sacks for him. Winston needing a big play after the sack as he leads the Bucs up on 3rd and long. Now Winston. And that one's going to be knocked away and incomplete. Nigel Bradham, the linebacker, right there on the coverage. Another incompletion. You know, it's a wonder he's still moving around back there the number of times he's been sacked.
Yeah, he's staying out there, isn't he? And you don't think about it much in a game like this, but he's showing incredible leadership. Still competing, still fighting, not taking himself out of a ball game that appears lost.
Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Jannard Avery, and the Eagles are going to take over in great field position. From the 32 now, here's 1st and 10.
I got you, son. I got you, son.
Pretty good results here on the first down run as he takes this forward for about 6. It's a 6-yard gain on the ground, and that'll make it 2nd and 4.
I have to chuckle to myself a little bit, Brandon, because right now I could be in that huddle with that offensive line, and I know exactly what they're saying. If you call a pass play here, we're going to call a timeout. Run the football. We've got control of this thing. Get him behind us and let's go.
Their time to shine. The last run got 6. Now 2nd and 4. Now this time, Wentz will throw. Throwing the out route incomplete. It's Gibson. And he gets it inside the 10 to the 9. Now they'll have it 1st and goal following that gain of 17. Quite the turnaround from a week ago where he threw 4 interceptions. He hasn't had an interception this game, and he told us during the week, my goal, goose egg. He's achieving that so far.
And what we're seeing is a guy that you can win with, right? Because anyone who can make that type of an adjustment and shake off a really horrendous week the week before and come back and play mistake-free football to this point, yeah, that's a guy I want to play with, that's for sure.
Moved back to the 10. They'll try on 2nd and goal here. Wentz to throw. Eluding the pressure right. Toward the end zone, but that's going to wind up incomplete. They've been so good on 3rd down all day long. Can they convert another here on 3rd and goal? They'll try to run with Sanders. And this effort won't be enough as they rally up to stop him a couple of yards short. So it's a victory here for the Philadelphia Eagles. And when you break it down, you know, this was just a thoroughly dominating performance.
And I truly thought that we'd have a tight game coming into this one. I think you felt the same way based on our conversation after the production meeting. But obviously not the case. And how about just how it broke open? You know, you just all of a sudden, whoosh, there it is. This thing is pretty much done. And the crowd stayed with it to celebrate because they're like, let's enjoy watching our team play this well. This is fun.
So for the Eagles, they move back over 500 now at 4-3. And they will hit the road next week. Meanwhile, for the Bucs, they fall for the first time this season after 6 wins to start the campaign. And they'll get a chance to redeem themselves at home next week. That'll do it for us. I'm Brandon Gaudin alongside Charles Davis. Thanks to our entire crew as well. We'll talk to you next time. So long, everybody.